Welcome to Curiosity, where we explore unique and exciting career paths that often go unnoticed. Today, we're diving into the world of voice over artistry, a profession that blends creativity, skill, and storytelling in a way that most of us experience daily through animations, advertisements, audiobooks, and more. To help us understand what it takes to succeed in this field, we have with us Ms. Jyotika, a talented voiceover artist who has worked across various domains. She's here to share her journey, insights, and tips for aspiring voiceover artists. If you're a student exploring career options or a parent guiding your child's future, stay tuned. This might just be the path you never thought of but will love to explore. Welcome, Ms. Jyotika.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me here to talk about this profession, voiceover artists. Yeah.
আয়রনের গুঁড়ে ভরা সবার পছন্দের ম্যাগি মাত্র 12 টাকায়। তো এসো ম্যাগি বানাই।
আমি এদের জন্য সবকিছু করতে পারি। এদের বাঁচিয়ে রাখার জন্য কয়েক মাইল দূরে গিয়ে শিকার করতে পারি, যে কোনো বিপদ পেরিয়ে উঠতে পারি। কিন্তু তখন কি করব যখন আমাদের পায়ের তলায় মাটি থাকবে না?
कहते हैं एक एंटरप्रेन्योर अपने स्टार्टअप में सब कुछ होता है। लीडर, लर्नर, चेयरपर्सन, सेल्स पर्सन, ड्रीमर, डूअर, सब कुछ। पर जब बैंकिंग आउट ऑफ सिलेबस लगने लगे तब हमारे बैंकर्स आपके साथ खड़े होते हैं। एक्सिस बैंक में 1 लाख से ज्यादा बैंकर्स की आंखें आपके फायदे के लिए रहती हैं, हमेशा ओपन। एक्सिस बैंक, हर राह दिल से ओपन। मल्टीलैटरल क्लाइमेट फैसिलिटीज। The Climate Investment Funds, or CIF, is a learning laboratory for climate finance. The climate crisis requires action anchored in evidence.
So, ma'am, we will begin with the questions. Ma'am, what exactly does a voiceover artist do, and what are the different industries where this skill is required?
So you see, a voiceover artist lends his or her voice for any kind of a digital content which needs to be enhanced with narration, dialogues, or maybe a character voicing. To sum up in one line, I can say it is an art. It is an art that brings words to life. And when you talk of industries where this skill is required, so today you think of anything which is in digital format, it is across industries. But to name a few that comes immediately to my mind are the entertainment, then you have the advertisement, then education, corporates, businesses. Then we also see it in the government sector. And another very, very, top of the mind industry which is shaping up in a big time is content localization and dubbing. So be it anything, be it an airline or hospital, hotels, everywhere, wherever they have any form of audio, video, or a digital content, you need a voice, and that's where we are required.
Absolutely. Ma'am, many people are familiar with actors and singers, but voiceover artists remain behind the scenes. How crucial is their role in entertainment, education, and advertising?
True. What you said is true, that we see people, we see faces in front of the camera, we can hear people singing behind. But when it comes to voice, it definitely has a very crucial role to play, and it is behind the scene. Talking about entertainment industry to start with, if the voice behind whatever you are watching, consuming to entertain yourself is not engaging, it's not emotionally connecting with you, the purpose of making such content to engage people, to entertain people, will fail. Similarly, when it comes to education, only when there's a well narrated content, it becomes easy to understand, to comprehend. There's a better retention when you listen that kind of content. So when I talk about education, I'm referring to any digital content that is in the classrooms. We have digital boards in the classroom these days. So there has to be a lot of engagement, and a digital learning transforms a child's experience altogether. And coming to advertising, it goes without fail that a powerful voice can make a brand unforgettable. There are many brands. When we talk, they have their punchlines, their catch lines, which are their end lines, which basically help to reconnect with the brand. But unless it is being said in the right engaging manner and tone, the brand reconnect, the brand recall is not very easy. So a powerful voice can definitely help you, take decisions accordingly. So that's what I need to say in this, that when there is clarity, when there is emotion, there's connect, it shapes the way brands, educational content, or for that matter, advertising, storytelling, it connects with our audiences.
Ma'am, as someone who has had years and years of experience in this field, can you walk us through a typical work day in your profession?
Okay, a typical work day would be, I already have a project in hand, which means I have to study through the project. I have to do some preparations before I get to, record it. So there is, I review the script. I try to understand the brief given by the client, who is the target audience. And so there's a lot of interpretation needed here. Then if there are any pronunciation helps needed, I would look at that. So this goes behind the preparation. Then of course comes the recording sessions, which can happen either at a studio or at a home studio or at a client studio where the client wants the artist to come. Or it can be, I can walk into a studio nearby me to get that output. And post the output, we are looking at editing it and getting the delivery as we want. So that happens. And thereafter, there are a lot of interaction between the studio, the client, to come to a point where we all agree that, okay, yes, the project is done. And apart from this, a day would also have a lot of marketing and networking aspects to be taken care of, where I as an artist will try to see that my portfolio is updated with the new works that I'm doing. Am I connecting or networking with the right set of people where I can see work coming in? So this is what happens in a day.
For the students who have very little idea about what voiceover artistry is, we need to explain to them. So we need to give them a brief explanation of what this art is. How did you get into this field of voiceover artistry?
That I would say is very interesting in my case. So I've been here almost over a decade now. And before that, I like to say it, I was on the other side of the table. Meaning to say is, I was working with a company where I was into marketing and communication, and I was getting these things done for my company, getting voiceovers done, getting TVCs made. TVCs, basically TV commercials, radio spots. So this was part of my KRA. And so I was working very closely with the audio production houses, creative agencies. And there was a time in my career path where I thought that, it's time that I might take a sabbatical. And while I was thinking about sabbatical, I kind of got connected with the work that I was doing on a daily basis. And then I decided that I want to completely switch over from the corporate marketing and communications profile to being an artist. And if I really go back and think, from the childhood times, there has been a lot of instances that I now sit and recollect where, very attracted to how I hear people, whether it's on the news desk or it is at the Republic Day parade or while traveling in an airline when you hear an announcement. So somewhere I feel it was in the making. The nature, the universe was conspiring. And so once I took this decision, I completely switched over from being as a corporate person to an artist. I got into taking some trainings and workshops to understand the craft. And very soon, I got into a studio scenario where I had my first project, and I had a lot of learning on the job. And by now, I voice in 3 languages across different genres. And for over 50 top-notch global brands I have in my portfolio. I'm very happy about it. Along with a lot of government works that I do here for, for example, the Department of Health, Ministry of Rural Development, and global brands are like Google, Facebook, the World Bank, Cathay Pacific, New York Health. So I could see how this entire journey, which I now see I've put my efforts to, looks like it was in the pipeline. It was being done, and that's how I came. And there was no looking back. So I'm in a constant learning, experimenting, and adapting process. That's how I got into it.
Your story was truly inspiring. Ma'am, since you mentioned that you changed your career paths, so to say, what kind of training or background is required to become a professional voiceover artist?
Yes, a training, I would say, in any profession definitely puts you, up there. A structured training program is definitely essential in this case also if you want to be a voiceover professional. It helps you to master the craft, and it's a very important role it plays where you, through the training, you learn things like, how to modulate, how to pronounce, how to be good at the pronunciation. There are breathing techniques, how to understand and interpret the script. You have to have a connect with what you're reading. So those are very crucial for delivering an impactful performance. So so far, this is what a structured training gives you. So far, we don't have any formal education, voiceovers being a part of the formal education. But this kind of structured training, back in the times when I was doing, we did not hear much of it. Still, I was able to get hold of some very good, mentors who would help me understand the craft, the industry insights, and there were workshops they were conducting. Now, we have a lot. I mean, every here and there, you have a lot of people who are conducting basic to intermediate to advanced workshops, courses. So they are very well structured, and I would say anybody who is interested should look forward to attending these. Start from the basic to understand, where are we standing, what we need to, do to move from where we are to where we want to arrive. So it will give you the basic skill sets that you need, the technical mastery, the industry insights. There will be a lot to learn about the vocal control that you need to be a voiceover artist. So that's what it is. And more importantly, one should have is listening skills. That's very, very important. It helps to do a lot of self-correction, and which is very important. So I see that today we don't have any formal education. This voiceovers does not form a part of formal education. But you never know, in the times to come with the new education policy, introduce the introduction of vocational studies might have voiceovers as something very promising coming up. So till then, I think one can look at these workshop formats, training formats. Structured training is coming up very, very well these days. And apart from that, any additional vocal training, whether it is singing, classical music, or speech therapies, they also add a lot of value to what you can do to this craft. They help you in the vocal range and the stamina. I myself, I'm a student of Hindustani classical, and I'll tell you, I have experienced so much of change from when I started my classes to now. The breath control, the tone clarity, everything, all that you need when you deliver your work.
So now you mentioned about how it could be you see a prospect of it being added to the curriculum with the upcoming new education policy. Would you say that it has to be an innate quality? And if so, what are some essential skills and qualities that an aspiring voiceover artist should develop?
Yeah. So I really hope and I wish that it soon is seen as part of the curriculum. But even now, if we have to talk about the essentials, it goes more than just having a good voice. So it definitely demands a combination of various things. So there has to be language proficiency in the first place. You need to be having a good command on the language. And when I talk of language, I would say it's very important for us to consider all the languages that we have, exposure to. In every household, we have a mother tongue. We have in English and a Hindi, and in the state language also sometimes we are doing. So I think language proficiency, whatever language you're doing, it is very, very important. Then you have to have the interpretative skills to understand what the brief wants you to do. The brief will come from the client, from the person who is behind the entire project, and will tell you what they need. And so you need to have that. Plus, as I told already, you have to have a lot of technical expertise to understand how does the softwares and the tools and the equipments work in this case, and what you should do about the vocal abilities that you need. And of course, it also needs a lot of understanding and active preparedness in the marketing and the business acumen, because after all, as a freelancer, independent artist, you would be playing the role of an entrepreneur. And not to forget, a lot of patience, consistency, and continuous learning is what you need.
And now we shift to career opportunities and growth. And
Sure.
what are the exciting career prospects and financial opportunities in the field of voiceover?
See, voiceovers today is actually a very diverse and a dynamic field, and it's growing rapidly across multiple industries, multiple domains. Like in the beginning only, we spoke about various industries where we can see its applicability. So today, with the rise of the digital content, the e-learning, the podcasts around us, audiobooks, storytelling. So when you talk about all these things, definitely voiceovers and voiceover artist demand is going to increase. So it can definitely be a financially rewarding career, but you for sure need a right skill set, and you need to be consistent in what doing with a lot of patience, because results just don't follow immediately, that's for sure. And of course, a lot of effort on the marketing side that you need to do for yourself, because you are your own brand. You have to market yourself. You have to be available in places where people might think of, they need a voice. So you have to be available, not just physically and digitally present, but also with the your portfolio. So if all this is there, then I think there's no doubt about this field as a high-paying career.
How competitive would you say is this industry, and how can newcomers build their portfolio and lead their first gig?
See, competition is everywhere. So is here. In fact, I would say in the last 3-4 years, it has increased manifold. Ever since the COVID happened and we were all confined to our houses, a lot of digitalization of things around us has happened and seen growth from those times. So in a way, it was an advantage, and new fields opening. So this field is also very highly competitive. Now, it is also full of opportunities, as I told you, because we can see there's a demand, there's a rise in the digital content, and every day, every aspect is seen as in an audiovisual format. So if you are willing to train yourself, to adapt to the changes that are happening, and to market yourself well, then the game can change for you in the good. And so it's very important that the newcomers should look at training themselves first. Keep learning. So once you train yourself, you have to make sure that you are practicing. Even if you don't have a live project, you're practicing, you're recording, you're listening to your own self. Listening to your own self is very important. to be critically able to come up with changes every time you listen to your own self. And then you end up, you create a portfolio or a demo reel. And now creating a portfolio is very well accepted when you do it from industry partners like studios. So you have to associate yourself with studios. You walk into studio, you show your abilities, and you help build a portfolio. Soon you get some live projects which can add to your portfolio. Then how you can be constantly learning. You keep on lookout for workshops, for training programs. Also, I think you should follow certain voices that you aspire, that you get inspiration from. Follow them, listen to them. And so listening, as I told you earlier, is a very important aspect. Like anywhere else, here too, I would say here even more. So you have to listen a lot. And when you listen, you try to understand what it means to be an artist who is doing everything with voice. So in the voice, you will be able to listen with your closed eyes, the emotions that are being translated, the message which is being conveyed, everything. So listening is very important. So then, of course, networking is there. So once you have your samples in place, your portfolio in place, you understand the market, how it operates. You go into the market. You try, your hand in getting some projects. You network around. You meet people, and constant learning at the side. That's how I think it would work.
Ma'am, you mentioned all of these skills required to be a voiceover artist, but I believe, and I think it is that way, that there are a lot of technical and practical aspects to being a voiceover artist as well. And what equipments and software does a beginner need to start their journey in voiceover?
True. So we had initially only said that that you need to have the technical understanding. So here also, to brief it in a few sentences is not doing justice. So whenever you are attending any kind of a training, there's an elaborate discussion being done on what technical understanding you need. So to understand very, very basic, you need a microphone for sure. Professional microphone. Then you need an audio interface, as we call it, which translates your voice into a digital format. Then, of course, there's a recording software. Many recording softwares are there. And to sum up everything together, unless you have a soundproofing setup, if you're doing it at home, your own studio setup, all these things are not going to work. And if you're proceeding to a studio, already established studio, then you walk in with the other skill sets, where again, technical understanding when you walk into a studio or before you start recording is to understand basics of the tone, the pitch, the pace, having a command on the pronunciation, all these form the technical kitty. And if you're doing it on your own, in your own space, then what I told you earlier about the equipment, that forms the technical kitty. I hope I've been able to answer your question in the right format. Of course, details and talking at length on each of the topics that we are talking today is part of the structured training program that I've been mentioning.
There are a lot of technicalities involved in the whole process. How much of a role does technology play in voiceover today? And do you think AI-generated voices are a threat to human artists?
I was expecting that question to come. See, technology has a very, very impactful and a big role to play. Even before the AI stepped in. With technology, the home recordings have been possible. At the times of COVID, we have seen how technology moved into our houses, and as artists who were just walking to the studios, take a script on the hand, start recording and come out. We had to learn everything. You had to learn how to set up your studio. You had to see how the editing and mixing and everything has to be done. But learning is one aspect. Availability because of technology is a blessing. So we have it around. So technology has always been supportive. Then apart from this, the online marketplaces that have been developed. So now you don't need to walk into studios all the time. You do a lot of email marketing. You do a lot of social media marketing. All this is because of technology, and you're able to connect not just studios and artists and clients, in the domestic market, but globally. Sitting here, I have recorded at many overseas studios from here. So technology has enabled me to record from my setup to their studios. Now, in this, what suddenly comes up as a big thing is AI, and it sounds like a threat. Yes, it definitely sounds like a threat. And the AI is, in my opinion, is something which will smoothen a lot of aspects. Of course, it is much enabled to take care of a lot of things which humans would take days and months to do. So it looks like a threat, but if we understand how we can utilize the ability of artificial intelligence, we can might use it as a tool to enhance our productivity, which will help us to be faster in what we do. Maybe we can do more volume of work. I understand there is still time to get this arrangement in a very helpful manner. Till that time, it looks like a threat. But having said that, there is a clear-cut division on areas where artificial intelligence is taking over the human voice, which is a very plain, simple, without any emotions being translated into voice, which AI is taking over and doing the work. But the human voice is still very, very important, and it plays that important role to bring in the empathy, the connect that we need in any digital content to connect with our audiences. So we still need humans. Humans cannot be irreplaceable. But one thing is for sure, we need to find a situation when we can coexist. So that we'll have to figure out. And for that, I think being adaptive is the most important thing, where we will, like I said in the beginning, technology has helped us to build up our studios at home and do things. Similarly, let's welcome technology to now look at how manifold our productivity can become, and not look at it as a threat completely.
There are indeed a lot of emotions that we can't expect AI to replicate. I think in that sense, human voice can never be replaceable.
I really hope so. That never is really what we can understand, and we should work towards it. We should see that our skill sets are in place, and we are working more with our abilities, which is beyond technology.
Now we come to the last section of the interview, that is advice for parents and students. How can parents view voiceover as a promising and rewarding career option for their children?
Yes, I understand. As a parent myself also, I feel that this is pretty new and unconventional path. But as you said, we are coming towards the end of the interview. By now, I think whoever is listening would have understood that this field, this industry is flourishing, and it offers not just the creative but the financial growth. So we can definitely say that it's no longer a niche profession, and since we can see its applicability across domains, across industries, so it's not limited to what we knew. Some of us would know that voiceovers, we hear it on radio or in animation, cartoon voices. No, it's not just like that, but it's actually, to say so, $1 million industry. And so if we can blend the right aspects of creativity, communication skills, then financial growth in this field is definitely a thing to see, look forward to. So I think by now, my whatever I have been able to speak about the profession that I am into will give a good understanding to the parents also, that it is something which they might see in the curriculum, and it's something which has definitely got a good future. So they shouldn't be worried about it, and they can think of it as a rewarding career. And Another aspect which goes a little understated is, there's a demand of regional language. You look at any podcast channel, any storytelling. And in India we are blessed with the diversity in every aspect, and diversity in language is something we are totally blessed with. So we should have a good command on whatever languages we come across. Our mother tongue, in addition to the school educational language, is definitely a plus point. So that is there. Plus, we also have the advantage of being flexible when we work from home. Okay, so all these things will definitely collaborate to a good future.
Ma'am, what advice do you have for students who want to pursue this but don't know where to start?
This is very important because while this looks very fancy and very exciting, I come across a lot of people who come to know that I'm into this profession, and they're like, oh my God, it's so exciting to meet somebody who's doing this kind of a work, which is very unconventional, very exciting. But there's a lot which goes behind it, and which for students, when they are still students, if they're able to take a control on, is going to help them shine really fast. And I'm actually trying to talk about the foundation, in clarity, in expression, communication, those things that we learn in our early education. So it is very important that the earlier we start, the better for us, because this is what matters a lot. When you want to pursue a career in voiceovers, you have to have a command on the language. You have to have a control on your voice, the clarity. You have to understand how to emote, express yourself. So when we learn communication in our schools, when we are writing, when you're doing creative writing, I think from there, we have to even see ourselves doing a little more of delivering, aspects where we are able to see the creativity, not just in our writing skills, but also in our public speaking, in our, presentations. So this is an area which one has to start building up as early as possible. Apart from that, you can time and again find opportunities to present, whether it is in your school, college, anywhere, which will help you gain that confidence when you see yourself as a professional doing this. And a lot of information is around us. Internet is to be given the credit for. So I think there's a lot which we can learn from while we are wanting to look at this as a promising career, and soon move on to finding a mentor or a trainer to train yourself formally into this craft. So this is where I think they should start.
Okay, ma'am, that is all from my side. If there's anything you would like to add?
I think to sum up, I would say that the schools, institution, and in fact the parents have a lot of a crucial role to play. They can help the students at an early age to be very, very clear about what languages we are using, whether we are using our mother tongue or the Hindi or English language in the school or the state languages. If the parents' school and, they can help the student to get a command on the language, to get to understand how to express well, to be able to develop that articulation, the confidence will follow. Okay, and so we have second language, third language in the school. I think they should be given equal importance if you're looking at a career in this field, and with constant practice and guidance, and for that matter, very small thing is to be able to read well. When you read well, you comprehend well, and which eventually lands to communicating well. So everything, small thing adds to the big thing that we are looking at. So when they are talking to you, when they are conversing with anyone, these are the areas where if we focus on right from the beginning, they help in a career on voiceovers.
Thank you, Mrs. Jyotika. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experiences with us. Your insights have given us a deeper appreciation for the world of voiceover artistry and the incredible opportunities that it holds. If you have a passion for storytelling, performance, and creativity, perhaps voiceover is the career you never knew you needed. It's an industry full of possibilities where your voice can bring characters to life, educate millions, and create lasting impressions. Stay curious, explore new possibilities, and as always, keep tuning in to Curiosity for more career insights. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Same here.